Ladies and gents, boys and girls, people from all over the world, welcome back to the Den FM, wherever you're tuning in. Been a big weekend over here on the GC. Not really sure what's going on with my hair, but we're going to roll with it anyway. Going live with my boy, Big Jaxon. So his bio claims that he's on the GC, so we'll get the inside scoop. Jacko, how you going, mate?
I was literally, the first thing I was going to say is what is going on with the hair. You need Jesus and one of these hats. Is it like a toupee? It looks like Donald Trump. A little bit worse, but.
What? What are you talking about, man?
What are you hiding? Bring me above the eyebrows.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I leave the hat on.
That's suave right there.
I'm actually, like, when I lifted the hat, I thought it was going to be worse than it was, but it's not bad. I'm gonna rep it.
Yeah, rep it, buddy.
No.
Yeah, rep it with your brother.
We just look disgusting. It's really not aesthetically pleasing. Why do you always do these in the weirdest locations? Are you in your car right now? In a car park? Is that a palm tree?
Because, alright, here's the sitcho. Like, really want to go live, but over here it's like 10 o'clock at night, and all my housemates are asleep, and I want to be vibrant and up and about, and like, we've got paper-thin walls about a metre away, so I'm like, 10 minutos, and then I just run to my car.
Oh, is it cold on the Goldie or nah? I don't want to talk about weather, but just tell me, is it cold? You're a jumper.
No, we're not wasting time talking about weather.
No, because what I was going to say was, all this talking, you're going to fog up the windows. People are going to think that there's something hefty going on, you know? All that heavy breathing. Yeah. I know how you get when you get rolling. You get.
Look at this sweater, my bro. Classy.
Mad.
It's classy. No, this is actually from Oi, man, good story about this jacket for anyone wondering.
Wait, let me
Berg,
talk. Let me talk.
My good mate, Berg.
I look like the boy next door right now. Any girls that want to date me? Boy next door. Look at that.
Any girls want to date Jaxon Foale with his guy next door look or whatever?
And jeans.
Still waiting. Donuts. No girls on the line want to date Jicko.
Hang on.
My man Ferg from London, man. He left his jacket at my house when I was living in the UK, and I said, put the call out. Anyone want to come get all their clothes they left at my house? I don't know.
That's your jacket. That's your jacket now. 100%.
Yeah, exactly. I said, it's coming back to Australia with me if you don't come get it. And I can't remember if I put that call out or if I just put it in my suitcase. But either way, it ended up back in Australia.
Oh, man, I'm real glad that it came back to Australia. Wait, I want to talk about running. I want to talk about running for a couple of reasons.
All right. Talk to me. Okay.
The one thing I hate is coming on your podcast and talking about myself. But it's such a perfect opportunity to brag to people. So
it is.
The reason I bring up running, I ran my first 40k week this week.
Woo! Let's hear it for Jacko, everybody.
This year, or maybe I don't know. Since I've been home. Anyway, I know Josh Lynot's tuned in, and he just did 80 in a day. So Josh Lynot, if you can just tune out for a sec. No, but what I was thinking was, I'm feeling so inspired. Am I getting too deep too quick? Too deep too quick?
No. We go deep early. We go deep early, baby.
See this sleeve? That's where my heart is. My heart.
Yeah.
So
really wearing your heart on your sleeve. Laying that out for the European people tuning in that don't understand.
So what? Yeah, I run 40Ks this week, and then you know what? You know what happens? I'm YouTube inspired. I'm YouTube inspired again. And you think that's dangerous. Like a correlation? The correlation.
It's dangerous.
It's just, and you know what else? It might have something to do with me running out of work at home, so I have more time. But like that's neither here nor there. 40-kilometer week.
Where are we sitting with the rig though? Where are we sitting with the rig? If you're getting back into running, it's nothing to do with the rig.
Why do you think the clothes are getting bigger?
They're getting real wintry. Nobody can tell what the physique's like under that.
But boy next door, you know?
Yeah, no, I really respect that, mate. So talk to me. What's on the agenda then? Are you going to come over for the GC Mara, or I think you got a week?
1 week. I'll tell you what. What's Let's play a game of Jeopardy to answer that question. If it's not yes, it's
yes.
What is no? Is the correct answer there? Yeah, won't be making that one, mate. Unfortunately. But
Okay.
maybe the
Well,
next one.
no. Well, hang on. Live to the air. Let's put the call out. Jacko, when are you going to commit to a run? Jacko and I, I think it was the last time we spoke, we agreed that we were going to meet somewhere and go for a run at least once a year. And I'm yet to get a date from Jacko, so let's put him under the pump live on the air. When are we going to be running and where?
Well, we already ran this year together at the start of the year.
No, I'm talking races. I'm talking a race.
I'm not a competitive person. I feel like it's not good for human morale because if everyone else loses, how does that make them feel?
It's fantastic for human morale. It's fantastic.
All right. Well, okay. Here's the situation. Real talk. I'm going to Europe in July. I'm back in August, and then I'm going straight to the Gold Coast to get the bus. Is there anything that lines up in August that we could potentially scoot together? And are you going to run with me? If you don't run with me,
Man, of course. That's the whole idea. We'll be side by side until you can't keep up.
And then what happens?
And then you'll be running by yourself.
Skits. Exactly what I think will happen and will
But
happen.
hang on, here we go. So if you commit to a run in August, that means you're committing to training in Europe, correct?
No, but like I feel like I'm at the level like we've been running for like a while. Like not quick, not good, but just running. So I feel like I could take a month off and come back and still do like a half marathon. No problem. I did 40 Ks in a week. Imagine what I could do in a day. Wait, that's backwards.
What about, if Joshy Lynott is still on here, what about the Ultra in Bali next year?
I'm not doing an ultra. Josh is like, okay, Josh is 60 kilos, hyper elite, and been training like the house down, and he looked like he was going to die at the end of it. How do you think the big lead would go?
People tuning in, should Jaxon and I do the ultra marathon in Bali? If I go, he goes.
No. Not an ultra. Everyone's going to say yes because they don't have to do it. If they have to do it, they'd be like, oh, no.
Before we commit to something stupid on the air, I want to change the subject. And firstly, we're going to start with your post, man. Your post tonight really made me sad and nostalgic of times gone past, and made me wonder why you aren't on the GC. The profile says GC, the bus is on the GC.
Are you familiar with the word sellout?
The man doesn't. I don't even. When was the last time? Were you even on the Gold Coast in 2019?
I can't answer that, but I'll answer that question with another question.
Hit me.
When's this? I didn't have one premeditated. I felt confident and I just started.
All right. Well, let's get to the guts of tonight then. We're talking the current state of the market, folks. We're talking the current state of the Instagram market.
Oh, Instagram
Jacko?
market.
Yeah.
Dude, I have all these notes on when you said we're going to talk about the market. I got a bunch of notes about the financial situation of the economy.
Why would two broke lads talk about the state of the economy?
Whoa. One broke lad. And he's that one. Is that you?
Is that you?
Broke lad.
We're having a race to 100K, ladies and gents. We're having a race.
No. Well, I don't know. That's why I was like,
all right,
I had a couple of what I thought were valid thoughts on the
economy. All right, well, hit me. You've done the prep. I'm ready. Hit me.
Well, I thought you were going to offer me more. You can't put me on the spot like this. But I was just going to relate it to I feel like I've become quite a businessman in the last couple of months, and I feel like, given the current economy, I feel like the market I'm in is kind of economy proof, in terms of when the market
crashes.
It's essentially marketing, right? So if the market goes down, businesses are going to be like, oh shit, better get some marketing to get my business back up. Foolproof.
Foolproof. So you're saying when the market crashes, you're going to be cashing in?
I don't know. Probably not. I've been doing this for like a month, man. Just
genius.
See how it goes.
I love it. So Jacko's put the call out there. Thank you for the clickbait. Start doing videography if you want to be market proof.
If Gary Vee saw this, there'd be a post tomorrow about him saying it but with swear words, and it'd go viral.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
How's it not effing true that the effing market is effing foolproof with video? Because it just makes sense. Like when businesses go bad, they stress out and maybe make worse financial decisions like hiring me. but also like I don't know. I just see it as it's marketing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like you say, I'm not a billionaire. Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, what were you going to talk about? Tell me about the Instagram economy thing. I don't understand that.
No, the market is a metaphor. We're talking Instagram. Where's it going, mate? Where's it going? Where's it at?
I don't know.
Where's social media going?
I'll tell you where it is right now. That it's at travel couples. If you're a travel couple right now, you are just living the vida loca. Yep. So
what you're saying is you're looking for a girlfriend.
Looking for a girlfriend. The word sell out.
Any girls tuning in that want to travel the world and have a man filming them walk in places.
Holding these ones. Look at that. That could be you. That could be you in front.
That could be you. Show us the hand, though. What kind of hand are we dealing with?
Oh, you couldn't see the hand?
No.
Oh, that was the
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there's the hand. Like, follow me and shit.
Yeah. Lead me places. All right. Well, Clint Steindl wants to know what's going to be the next big thing on it. Oh, we've had a couple hits. Renu Wastikin and Header. I'm right here, and I'm just here for the accent. Jacko, you've got 2 potential travel couple ops right there.
The love of my life. No, wait. Ultra in Bali. Oh, all right. You've thrown that out there. Wait, no. What's your opinion on the Instagram right now? Where do you think? No, wait. Can I retract my answer?
No, you can add to your answer. You can't retract it because we're live and we can't go back and take it out.
When this gets
but add to it. Elaborate.
And can you promise me at least 3 low power modes on my YouTube video, so it pauses on YouTube for like 5 minutes before going again? If you could do that 5 times, sweet. At the critical moments too.
No problemo.
Nah. Okay. And now I've forgotten what I was going to add. I'm such an idiot. No. Okay. So for the last like few years or whatever, it's simply been like pretty pictures, right? Pictures of like colorful farts.
Yeah, pretty people standing in pretty places.
That's the one. We did that kind of, or we tried to, but not as pretty.
We were there. So give Clint what's it gonna be?
Well, the problem
Where's it going next?
The problem now is that everyone's doing it because it's like the most accessible thing in the world to be able to like go and buy someone's preset, guilty, be able to go and like mimic the frames that you see, and traveling the world, all you have to do is just mimic those frames and then like give it to a villa to advertise in the villa or be like, stay here. It's not hard to get like travel or just work on the road, you know? So it's never been more accessible to travelstagram. And so that market is becoming ridiculously saturated, and it's really like uninspiring, I think, for a lot of creators. But what is happening now that is good is a lot of creators are forced to have to come out of that shell of like, we can hide behind the pretty picture. And they're just elaborating on their personality, which like a lot of them have. Like some of our best friends are in this scene and stuff. Like there's like a real stigma to like Instagram as being a little bit bland or whatever, but it's just because people haven't seen that side of them. And I think now it's really forcing people to come out of their shell, because if you want to stand out, you got to have something more than the pretty pictures. You got to have a little bit of heart right there.
Heart on the sleeve. Put it out there.
Personality.
I like that.
Personality's going to dominate.
Personality. And like we've spoken about in the past, I feel like if you've built the following on pretty pictures and standing in places, which is what we did, then you're kind of susceptible to the crash in the market of the gram. But if you've built your following or your your brand on your personality, you are, what did we say before? you are market-proof.
Market-proof. Yes. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do?
No, I like that. But here we go. Here's the challenge. Can you show your personality on Instagram, or do you have to go elsewhere? Because I've noticed a lot of people going elsewhere, guilty. Like, subscribe, swipe up to subscribe and say hello.
Yeah, don't do that.
But YouTube is where it's at.
Yeah, well, I think it's just you go to it depends on what platform you're on. Like, I feel like Instagram is really like instant gratification in terms of if you're a creator, you get the likes in one day and that's it. And as well as if you're a consumer, it's instant gratification because you you can consume a lot of content very quickly. It's almost like your attention span for Instagram, I feel like, is imprinted in people's minds as like 10 seconds. Like, you're not going to look at someone's post for more than like 3 seconds if you're scrolling through.
Yeah.
But if you're on YouTube, it's almost like going on Netflix or something. You're there to consume for like a long period of time. So yeah, I feel like it just, you just, and like IGTV, they tried to kind of like, well, like back in the day when, wait,
I was going to say,
because I'm going to tangent.
Yeah.
You go.
No, I really like, I'm going to jump in and say, I really like what they've done with Instagram TV, how you can, because it used to be kind of pointless where you post it and then like nobody just sits on IGTV, but now you can post the first 60 seconds of it to your timeline, which I think is huge. That is massive, because then it actually pops up in your newsfeed and you're like, oh, actually, let me click through and watch the rest of this.
If they're
so you can, and that's 10 minutes of action right there. So
yeah, what I've started seeing people do dedicated series. Like, do you know Amanda Cerny? She started doing like a dedicated Instagram where it's all like vertical video, which is cool. And we used to have a friend in LA. I'm going to say a friend because none of the viewers will know. But we had a friend in LA, Jose, legend, let us stay at his house forever. But he was developing an app for tall screen, like dedicated tall videos. But he was way like ahead of his time because
he was like 5 years early.
Yeah, 5 years early. The movement's only just started now, but he saw the vision. And so it sort of sucks. But Instagram does that in terms of like, Instagram never used to have like this feature we're on now and like the Snapchat essentially. Like they destroyed Snapchat by adding what are they called? What Insta stories?
Yeah.
Don't know the industry.
Same thing.
But yeah, but like, and they're trying to do that with YouTube as well. Like, well, I feel like that was their move with the IGTV, was to get consumers on for like a longer duration of time by doing IGTV. But I feel like it just, I don't know. I know, like, this is, again, probably something, like, I feel like vertical video is just going skits right now. Like, it's everywhere. Like, we're doing it right now. We're on a vertical
It has to be vertical, though. And YouTube's adopted as well, man. Like, we were talking about this the other day, too. If you upload your video in portrait and then you watch the video in portrait on your mobile, it's crazy, man. It's like, even YouTube's like, oh, hang on a second. We kind of fucked here because if it stays landscape, we're screwed. So let's keep it portrait.
Tell me this thing. Tell me this. So is that purely... Sorry, I'm having some technical... I can't get the freaking... I'm having technical difficulties. Okay, stuff it. So tell me this. That's all being curated because of the shape of a phone, right? Like the fact that a phone is this shape to fit in our hand. If a phone was traditional, like if phones never got built this way and they were that sideways, like we naturally held a phone sideways in our hand, would the video have ever gone vertical?
No, probably not though, right? So,
and if we move forward
punchline,
and the phones go back to being sideways, I don't know if they ever were sideways, but if they become sideways and that's the new thing, does that mean then the video is going to adapt back to what it normally was? Anyway, I think traditional cinema, like I don't think you're ever going to go into a cinema and see a movie like...
No way. Always 16:9.
Yeah, so I don't understand why... It's just weird how like there's become such a segregation between like social media consumption of videos and then traditional cinema. Like,
well, I think another cool observation is how quick people, like our generation is to adapt, man. Like you think about how many small changes there's been and people have jumped on the new initiative. So even we've been doing all of this, man, like you go back to like when Instagram first started, or even before that, when it was Facebook, and then it was YouTube, and then MySpace, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat. Everyone just kept jumping on all their...
You're back. You cut out, but you're back. I know what you're saying. Like, I think that's like a real generational thing too, in that like our generation is adapting to everything, but then the older generation obviously has like, they've been like, whoa, change, no, get away. Like,
yeah.
And so now there's like, that's why you've got old people doing this to their phones instead of using their thumbs like it's meant to be. And like, I think it's provided a lot of opportunity because the older generation are the ones with money. So this wave coming through now where like we've completely grown up with this technology, and now that like the social media stuff has become such a huge business tool. I think there's so much opportunity for the youth that now, like, just even having grown up with it, you already know more than like marketers of the 1970s, you know? Like, it's like you already know a platform that they were never exposed to and stuff like that. So,
and
I
more
think,
so,
like,
even those people are they're looking for the next big thing, or like someone that's doing something different that might be the step forward, rather than like, oh, don't do that, that's wrong, this is how we do it, you know? Everyone's always
ready to
looking
jump.
for like what's next, you know?
Yeah. If only we were what was next. But we're not.
I can't see YouTube ever dying though. Like, so Emma came over, my sister, and so did Jade's sister. So we had two younger siblings here on the Goldie, and literally, man, they watch YouTube rather than TV. Like, they watch people's YouTube channels.
It's crazy. It's
And
back
for
to
me,
that
was just like light bulb moment. YouTube is where it's at. It's like Facebook, it's like Instagram, except longer form. So if you're sitting down and just vegging out watching telly now, you can veg out and just flick through someone's YouTube channel.
It's so weird though, because like all right, so there's exceptions, but like 99.9% of YouTube is like pretty shit quality in terms of like just comparing it to like Netflix or like the next accessible video platform or whatever you want to call it. So like, it's weird that the human race chooses the crappy quality over when they could, like, Netflix is right at everyone's fingertips as well. Like, why do I choose to consume the worst quality? And it's because the personality thing, like, you're investing in someone's life, not their like cinematic genius. I don't know.
I feel like people don't want the highlights reel anymore as well, which is like, I guess Netflix is entertainment, but it's still kind of like elite entertainment, whereas a lot of these YouTube channels are just people documenting their life, which people seem to be so invested in.
And I think like the vicarious living as well, like anyone that has like a cool life and you can kind of just tag along for the ride just by consuming their content, it's mega. Like, it's an unreal thing that you'd never be able to do previously.
Pretty surreal, especially when they're like celebrities, or even bigger when you're in a place where the weather's not like it is in the video as well, I think.
Yeah. Oh, man. Next topic. I feel like we've wrung that one by the neck.
I reckon it's a pretty juicy topic, actually.
Oh, you got more juice? All right. Give me some juice then, man.
No, I'm talking, I'm thinking about conversion. Talk to me about conversion, Jacko, from social media to commercial.
Oh, converting. Oh, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Hang on. We've got some input from the comments. YouTube is a lot more personal and heaps easier to relate to. It feels warm and fuzzy when you watch YouTube. That's true. Relatability.
That's very true, Danzy.
Oh, here we go. And JP, name a top 5 YouTube who actually gives back to the people and actually adds value through their content to society. You, Josh Patterson, I've seen your YouTube.
Hey.
You do a very good job of giving people like inspiration. You do a lot of good causes, like the wheelchair thing. I don't know if he was fishing for that.
Man. Yeah, let's keep going with that, because I feel like that's a huge positive that comes from people with influence like JP, who's used his influence to raise awareness for something and challenge himself, rather than just kind of live his life and kind of audaciously.
This is me having coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost, because I feel like we're past the fact in social media where people are like, oh my God, like, how does he travel? How does he never work? Rah-de-rah. It's like, people kind of can understand that now, and more now it's like more, I find it more engaging when people are doing something outrageous, like challenging themselves with a ridiculous physical challenge.
Marathon. Like,
yeah,
it's
like
crazy
JP,
to watch the process,
like Josh,
of how they
and you follow the journey on social media.
That's it.
It's like documenting the journey to this massive challenge or raising awareness for something. I think that's huge.
Yeah, and you see that. Okay, wait. Okay, segueing. No, wait. What's the word? Segueing off topics there. Let's talk about in terms of like I feel like there's a lot of bandwagon, okay, let's start with like the environment and stuff. I feel like there's a lot of like bandwagon people that are jumping on the environment, like where they're just doing it because they know that it's like a popular thing. I know this is a touchy topic, and I'm not trying to come across as negative.
I think everyone kind of thinks it, but I think you're brave for saying it.
Yeah, and like not just that. Like I mean, like people that I don't know if I should say it, but there's a lot of people that like properly suffer from like anxiety and depression and stuff. And then I think there's also another like percentage, small percentage, but I think they are on the bandwagon because it's trending in a sense.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm going too far, but I feel
I know exactly what you're saying, but I think it's more like, is it a bad thing if they're still raising awareness?
I've had
a debate.
I know, I've had a huge conversation because it's like, regardless of if they're practicing what they preach, the ideology of like sustaining the environment is now out in the universe, and therefore it's like in people's faces and it's at the forefront of their mind. When they go to the shop, they'll be like, oh, hang on, watch that Insta story. Deep within the noggin, they're not going to take that plastic bag opposed to taking the 99-cent one that's like sustainable or whatever. So I feel like it is like, in that sense, it's like a real like little step thing. But like, I've witnessed it. I've witnessed people go on and like talk about the environment, and then like you see them in real life and they're like,
they don't really care.
No, they're just consuming more plastic than anyone. Okay, here's another veganism. Remember a certain human on Rottnest Island that came over and said, I'm vegan on social media. What did she do the first day she was there? She had a freaking meat pie for breakfast. And we were like, what the? Are you serious? This was like before veganism was even trending, and she was already on the bandwagon. I mean, he or she, whoever, but it was just, it's just the perfect example of how people just jump on something for the popularity of it. And it's just, I think it's ridiculous. That's why, well, I feel like I'm like, I don't know. I feel like,
but that's what true influence is. That's the difference between, I think, like, obviously people have followers and have influence on here, but only the true influencers are the people that are kind of pioneering the space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And I think like, I'm like scared to be political on one, because I know nothing about the topics that I like would debate about. Like, I don't spend my time looking up.
Who cares about politics, man?
Yeah, but like, so I try to keep my Instagram politic free because I feel like it's just like an avenue that I don't know enough about to.
And people seem to have just massive opinions on.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like, well, politics especially, like, if you're telling someone something about your opinion, nothing you say is going to make them go like, oh, okay, well, if they're like an avid supporter, they're not going to be like, oh, okay, well then I'm going to vote for the Greens instead of Liberal or something like that. Like, I feel like it's one of those conversations that's just so unproductive in so many senses because people are so stubborn in their opinion on who they're voting for. Well, from what I've encountered anyway. I know there's some people that just fence it and yeah.
Well, let's push it even further though, because we were chatting the other day about when an influencer is raising awareness about the environment, but is kind of countering that with their profession and the debate about where that lies. Because
you're talking about like the emissions of the plane because their life is traveling around and using lots of fuel. Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Because one, absolutely massive that raising awareness, and most people that are following them aren't kind of living that life. So it's good to use the following to raise the awareness so that everyone's more conscious of it, but kind of countering the belief of it by the emissions of the planes and things like that.
Do as I say, not as I do, I guess. Well, okay. I saw.
Talk to me then, Mr. Travel Influencer.
Do you know Hello Emily? Hello Emily. Anyway, she's like insanely talented photographer. I think she's from Australia, but she always on her Instagram stories, she always says like how she's like looking to change career because she talks a lot about the environment and her beliefs in climate change and how to fix it and all that, which is great. But a lot of people call her out for her hypocrisy because the fact that she's traveling like all the time. And so she's been quite public in saying like she's looking at other avenues of like where to take her career. So then she doesn't do that, which is like,
Wow.
I think it's quite drastic. So like,
That's huge.
I feel like it's very like, and I don't know if she's doing that because she's feeling the pressure of, like, she's obviously extremely passionate about it, but like, I don't know if she's feeling the pressure of like, shit, I'm saying all this stuff which I believe in. I don't know. Like, I've got to back it up. But...
Because the other thing is, those people, the travel influencers, are the ones that are seeing the extremities of it. Like in these first world countries that most people, that most people live in, you can't see it. Like, you throw your trash away and you don't think about where it actually goes. But when you're in the third world,
and it rocks up on a beach in Asia,
that's where it ends up, and you see the raw end of the deal.
Wait, can you? All right, this is me being completely naive, and this is just a testament to how little I know about all the topics. Plastic pollution and global warming, they seem so associated, but are they completely different, or are they somewhat related, or are they like? What's the? I don't know where the question is there. Where, like,
what do you
feel like so many people like plastic, climate change, but like it's like, I don't know where I was going with that.
Plastic just never breaks down.
Yeah, but does that contribute to the ozone depletion?
Well, if you burn it, which is
what's burnt.
Yeah, I feel like it's an irrelevant point though, because plastic never breaks down. Kind of, if you use enough plastic, it's just going to build up anyway, and then you've got pollution. So, Mr. Foale with another pointless fact.
I don't know.
This is juicy content though. I really like talking about this stuff. How often are these influencers posting photos of trash on a beach compared to a money shot on the beach? I know which will get them more likes. Huge call from Clint, and very true as well.
That was a comment? Ooh.
Yeah, massive.
Wait, someone said, stop yelling. Am I yelling? I feel like I get excited and I start yelling. Sorry. I think
we both do. But I think the real purists of environmentalists, photographers, adventurers, I feel like the real purists aren't on Instagram, you know? So it's great that these people are raising awareness, but the real purists, I feel like, are kind of out there, and they're the ones that, like, I'd love to get the inside scoop from one of them that just genuinely, it's not really fair to say genuinely cares, because obviously the people that are spreading the awareness genuinely care, but are just out there purely because that's their sole focus, that's their life. The photo, is the adventure, is the environment, that kind of, do you know what I'm saying? You pick up, you know what I'm down?
I'm picking that up for sure. You know, okay, firstly, you know, Stefan Haworth. I feel like Stefan is a perfect example of someone who lives the life that they're portraying. I think you and I can both test that, like, what we did was 100% like stage content. Like, well, I know for me at least, like that 99% of that just wasn't me. Like,
besides the backflip photos, when you can't really stage that.
Living on the edge, bro. What can I say? Just being fully sick is my full occupation. No, but like...
I see what you're saying. Like, putting on the act of it.
Yeah, like, doing things that I wouldn't do because, like, well, to be fair...
Well, that's why we are where we are right now, because it wasn't who we are 100%.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we'd still be doing it, like our man Stefan.
Yeah, but the difference with Stefan is, like, that's his life. Like, he'd be doing that regardless of Instagram. Like, you can see the authenticity and the passion he has for that.
I think that's the bare bones of it right there. If social media didn't exist, would you still be doing it?
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know, like, well, just given that my mind shift has shifted so much into, like, now I see this so much more as a business. And also, the other thing that I feel like is coming along is, like, just connecting with people. Like, I feel, even this year, just so much closer to people just by... I don't know, just engaging. Like, I know the whole engagement on my end started because of that was like algorithm supported. So you're like, oh, well, I better reply to every comment. But now, like, I get like a genuine laugh and joy out of like commenting on people's stuff, and you build like that repertoire of like consistent commenters, and then you like end up in like a DM with them, and it's just banter. You make social friends just from like what was the original point there? I lost myself.
Would you still be doing what you represent on the life you live on Instagram if social media didn't exist?
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know if I would. Like, look at all my photos. I'm like a real indoors guy. Like, I do some stuff, but like, I think my passion comes from like making videos. So anything I can do to get content for video, that's me. Like, but the actual me doing the content in the video, not so much me. It's just the fact that I love making movies regardless of what's in it. Like, that's why I go through the YouTube phase of like doing weird acting and stuff. Like,
So the genre is essentially irrelevant for you because your passion is the video, so it wouldn't matter what you're filming. You're still enjoying it because it's the actual making of the video that you enjoy, not the actual contents of it.
I think that's why I love Neverland because we were able to do it for so long because I think all of us had that passion to just create. Like, well, and 100%. To be fair, you and Zach lived that life. Like, that was definitely way more you guys than it was me. Like, you guys were both on Rottnest before Instagram, before any documentation, doing that stuff. Like, that source from what you guys loved. And from my point, it was almost just a documentational thing. Like, I just enjoyed the process of creating the content around it. And it was cool. Like, it's like surfing is cool. And it like underwater slow motion really gets my dick hard. Sorry. Really excites me. So it's hard to...
Oh, mate.
So I guess I'm always going to be making videos regardless if I'm posting it or not. I make like 7 corporate videos a week. You never see it. So I think I'd always be making videos. Well,
here we go. Let's go here. Why don't we see it? Why don't you share them?
Wait. No, wait. I want to hear your opinion on what would you be doing it if Instagram didn't exist? What would you be?
That's been the big shift for me in the last kind of like 16 months because I realized that wasn't what I was into. And so I tried to make a shift into just documenting what it is that I do. But then you get stuck in the business of it where it's like you do that, but you've built a reputation for doing what you were doing before, and that's where the money is. So you kind of have to do that to stay afloat.
I think you're sitting on a fence that's
you just
a balancing act,
which just messes with your head. So I feel like I'm kind of on the end of the scale, moving away from what I was and more online to what I'd be doing, even if Instagram wasn't a thing. But I definitely, for a long time there, was just in a bad space because you got that in your head. You're like, whoa, this isn't me. But like online, everyone has this assumption of who you are and what you do. But
they're telling you who you are, and then you're trying to,
which messes with you because you're on here and people are telling you who you are, and then you put it down and you go away and you're like, wait, what? That's kind of a bit like not really in line with it so much.
I said this to you in a private conversation midweek, but like, I think what you've done and your transition from that, and like I was saying before, just building repertoire with people, I feel like your followers now are like really invested in you instead of like where you were hiding behind the pretty picture like we were talking about earlier. I feel like now the transition you've made where you're doing a lot more personality-based stuff, because that's just who you are, is like, that's really connecting with people a lot more. So I think it's like, it's going to be one of those things that comes full circle where like that, aren't you just angry at yourself? Like
not
I'm angry at myself
earlier?
As well, that you weren't doing it from the start. Like, it just...
Personality, that's where it's going, is essentially what we're saying.
And I think that's where it's always been.
And also, just like you mentioned, engaging and just getting to know everyone on the community, because I know for sure my favorite part of Instagram or social media as a whole is when the actual relationship becomes real life, when you bring the community into person rather than completely...
That was the good thing about travel, because like you're meeting so many people every day that you've like followed and they follow you and stuff. So like, but now that we're like, I'm doing it from home and stuff like that, it's like a lot more of a disconnect in terms of face-to-face action. But then like, it's also compensated for with more like that shift in where you're communicating more with the people that get around you and stuff. Wait, what was the thing you said we're going to move forward to?
No, we're going to wrap it up. We'll talk more about it next time when you're on.
You always leave me with blue balls every goddamn time.
We'll come back for another episode with you, Jekko. Always love having you on the chat. It's been juicy.
When can we bring up the big secret?
About a month's time.
In a month's time.
Or 2 months.
Woo-hoo! Strap up, everybody.
You'll find out after the news headlines.
Big one. All right. See you, man.
Thanks for the chat, Jacko. Loved it, mate. Love ya. He's out. Jacko Foale. Hope you enjoyed that tonight. Some super juicy conversation there, talking the state of the social media market. Would love to get your thoughts if you have tuned in about if you liked kind of addressing the kind of almost controversial topics. But big shout out to Jacko for jumping on the line and putting his neck on the chopping block there with a couple of really kind of thoughts that everyone thinks but nobody actually says. So we'll just grab him back on in a week or so as well to continue the conversation, because we always have great chats, me and my man Jacko. Hope everyone's had a lovely start to the week. We'll be back again tomorrow for another episode. I'll talk to you then.